What's good, everybody? The grind never ends here at the brand. For those of you that have tuned in all day today, this is our kind of fourth live show right here on this YouTube channel. If you do not subscribe yet, do it right now. It's for free. Turn on those notifications, and you will know every single time we start a new show. I am the coach. We are powered, as always, by the almighty SportsLine. And tonight, Week 16 in the National Football League kicks off, and we are here for it. A pivotal game. Both teams need this desperately. 49ers laying 3 in Music City, Nashville, Tennessee. And boy, you know that's where my heavy hitters live. So let's bring in the stars of the show right here and right now. First and foremost, live from Nashville, Tennessee, the penthouse level. M Squared, good evening.
Good evening, Coach. Good evening, fellas. Excited for a primetime game. Can't wait. Feels like we've done this every day because we basically have. But got all the energy still. I love these primetime games.
I know you do. I know you do. And when we said when the show started a year ago that we will embrace the grind, these are the type of days that we were talking about. I don't see anybody else doing 4 shows. I'll wait. AB, 8 fours below. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Coach. Good evening, everybody. I'm glad to be going in a showdown with the entire chat tonight. As long as the maestro, we're going to have a fun night, man. It's going to be good.
I'm going to get back to that in just a second because I've got to say hello to the man. You talk about grinding. You talk about a man who's under the weather but still shows up. I'll show you a picture of prop stars. Alex, good evening, sir.
Coach, Mikey, AB, we've all heard about MJ's flu game. We're going to be talking about prop stars flu night tonight when we cast these props, and we are going to have a huge night.
You know what's going to happen is you might get into the club on your own on a night where you can't even enjoy the club on your own. That'd be a little ironic, wouldn't it?
It would indeed, Coach. But you know what? I'd gut it out, and I'd be there anyway.
Gut it out. Oh, give me that vodka on the rocks. Come on, big boy. All right, now AB just mentioned something he's going to do for you people at home that are in the chat. We appreciate you so much for hanging with us, being live with us. So what are you doing tonight, AB?
Yep, so we are bringing this showdown to the audience tonight, and here's how to play. Everybody's involved. All right, I am taking the Titans plus 3.5 against all of you. All right, okay. Everybody in the chat. So put your Twitter handle in, put your Venmo handle in, and we are going to select one lucky person in the chat by the end of the show. And if the Titans don't cover plus 3.5, you win the showdown. I will Venmo you right after the game and get you all set up. So you're all involved in the showdown tonight. And usually we have the jeweler that will select somebody. Noah, you are in the chat. We need you to take care of it. By the end of the show, drop it in the chat who that person is, and we'll go head to head.
I love it. You are the ultimate man of the people, and I am here for it. Now, our man Chad, he's having a rough day. In all seriousness, we got to pick him up. He says, Coach, it's not just affecting some betting plays. Today, your boy tested positive for COVID. Hardest part is letting the kids down at Christmas. Maybe the pay window will help. Chad, you're always there for us. Brother, we're going to be there for you today. We wish you all the best. Be safe. Pay it forward. Your kids will understand as long as the presents are under the tree and you're up in the bedroom. You're all good, Chad. Don't even worry about it. We got you. Sure glad your phone still works and iPad or computer, whatever it is. Chad is the man. All right, let's get into it, boys, because we got a lot to talk about tonight. Now, the Titans, they can clinch the AFC South tonight with a win and a Colts loss. The 49ers currently reside in one of the wild card spots. So you can see how vital tonight's game truly is. Mikey, let me start with you. We already put in our plays this morning on the early edge. You have a teaser that is your best bet. We're going to do our best bets right now, then discuss the game, and then do the props so people get all the numbers in currently. So what do you got today, Mikey?
Yeah, so my best bet here is the teaser from this morning. I have the Titans plus 9 and the over 38. There's good news, bad news. Good news, you get a little better number on the Titans side. You can get plus 9.5 now. The bad news is the total is not long gone, but pretty much long gone here, as the total's risen all the way to 46 so far today. So you're only going to be able to get it down to 40. It's moved 2 full points since we gave it out this morning. Still like it. Definitely not as strong as over 38 versus 40, but still below mostly a key number of 41 in the NFL. So still go ahead and tease it. if you haven't yet. Titans plus 9.5 and over 40 would be the updated number.
All right. Very, very good. Thank you, Mikey. Now, as always, on these single primetime games, if you have a prop that you like, drop it into the chat, leave your Twitter handle. And also, I need you to pound that like button. One more solid we're going to do for you. If you get us to 100 likes, we will drop a code into the chat. And it's a one-time first come, first serve for somebody who is not a SportsLine member. All right. Now, speaking of props, Alex, let me come to you. What are you on tonight?
Yeah, I'm on a prop that I like quite a bit. That's A.J. Brown over 55.5 receiving yards. Coming off of a 3-week stint on injured reserve and the Titans bye week, Brown is going to be active tonight for the first time since week 11. He is fully healthy. He's going to be playing opposite of Julio Jones, who is incapable of finishing a game, playing against the 49ers, who allow the 4th most production to opposing number 1 wide receivers, according to Football Outsiders. They rank 21st in passing DVOA compared to 2nd in rushing DVOA. So, yeah, the path of least resistance, in my opinion, for Tennessee to move the ball offensively is going to be through the air against the San Francisco defense. I also feel that if Tennessee is planning on making a playoff run, which obviously the record would indicate, they are going to need to air the ball out. They cannot be as one-dimensional as they have been, especially with A.J. Brown on the shelf and Julio banged up. They've had a very, very tough time throwing the football. So tonight is going to be the night, I think. The 49ers have also allowed 23 players to have at least 56 receiving yards this season. At least 2 players in all of the 49ers games have gone over this number. The only times that they didn't was the Eagles in week 2 and the Jags 5 weeks ago. So, yeah, I love me some A.J. Brown tonight, and hopefully we can get Mikey on board as well, because I know he likes it too.
But the question is, how much do you love A.J. Brown? The reason I ask, because in the chat, they're asking the question I was going to ask you. It is now up in some places to 58.5, and my book, it's already at 59.
Yeah, I would say 59.5 is the cutoff.
That's the cutoff? Then
I'd play it at 59.5, no higher.
Okay, boom, boom. This is how much I trust my boy blindly. I don't care. He's the best props person in America. And I say that as I come to AB, who also has a prop tonight. No offense, AB. No offense whatsoever.
Well, no. Let me say, props, the best props person in America. I'm just a person in America. You know what? But I'm proud of that. All right. So there we go. Now, real quick, tell somebody in the chat, say, hey, I don't have a Venmo, but I still want to play. If you don't have a Venmo, absolutely fine. We'll figure it out. Trust me.
Whoa. I know you're a man of the people.
Yeah.
If you don't have a Venmo, you don't get to play. There are just certain places we won't go to. Start a Venmo. That's how we do showdowns.
It's illegal in Canada, unfortunately. No Venmo in Canada. It's not allowed in the country, so that's why the user is actually from Canada. So.
Okay.
We'll
AB will send you a MoneyGram.
If you're out of the country, you can play. But if you're in the United States, you don't have Venmo, you're out. You're out.
I'll tell you what, I'll send a picture from Walmart at 12:30 this morning. I'm not kidding. I'll get that money to you if you win, but you got to beat me. So good luck on that. But no, we'll figure it out. Just put your Twitter handle. Noah will figure it out by the end of the show who's going to win. All right, I'm going with Ryan Tannehill over 15.5 rushing yards. Look, he can run. He's a much more mobile quarterback than people give him credit for. Usually these rushes come in the red zone, but you look at these last 3 games, he's hit over 20-plus rushing yards in all 3 of them because his offensive line is atrocious. And his starting left tackle, out. His number 2 left tackle, out. Their second-round pick left tackle is starting tonight. So we're going Ryan Tannehill over 15.5 rushing yards.
Pooh Bear said Coach is about to start an international incident trying to lay down the early edge law. LOL. Hey, if that's what I have to do. I've been to Canada very, very, very many times. I can't even speak. I've been there a lot, and I love Toronto. Ottawa's good. Vancouver, solid. Edmonton, Northern Lights, Calgary, solid. Saddle Dome, I love them all. Love all of you people in Canada. All right, now, Larry, the maestro, he is back from paternity leave, for those of you who don't know, and he gave out 2 plays this morning on the early edge. He likes the 49ers -3. He's in a showdown with AB. And then Deebo Samuel over 32.5 rushing yards. Now, Mikey, let me come to you because I want to to launch a discussion off of that play, because the last 2 weeks, the Titans have allowed combined 43 yards rushing in the last 2 weeks. So with Maestro giving that out, is that a good play in your mind, or are the 49ers a different kind of animal on the ground?
I'd say they're a different animal on the ground, mostly because I don't think they're going to try to run Debo between the tackles a ton. I think they're going to try and get him out wide, get him in space a little more. He's not going to be a monster in terms of opportunities. Like, I would set his number at between 6.5, 7. He might get 8 carries in this game, but he'll have a little bit of work in the passing game as well. He finally had 5 targets again last week, but it's a shorter week. I do expect them to be heavily involved. So I'm certainly not taking the under on his rushing, just because he possesses some of the most upside out of any player in the National Football League when you give him the ball. And the Titans, again, their focus is between the tackles, middle of the field type stuff. And that's not exactly where Debo is going to try to run.
Okay. Prop stars, let me come to you, because the 49ers offense has really started to pick up the pace. So the Titans are going to have to do that too. Obviously, you're on A.J. Brown, but from a props perspective tonight, when we believe there's going to be a lot of points, were there any certain names that you were targeting as you were in the lab and all full of that NyQuil and stuff?
Yeah, there's a few. I've been looking at some of Tannehill's passing props, particularly his passing attempts and completions. The number is 29.5 for attempts, and it's 20.5 for completions. I have a decent edge on his passing attempts at over 29.5. I think that the Titans are going to have to air the ball out in order to be competitive in this game, coupled with the fact that the 49ers are somewhat of a pass funnel. They are second at rushing DVOA. They are very good at stopping opposing ground games, and that's what we know Tennessee likes to do. Furthermore, I was looking at Foreman's rushing attempts. That number has since moved a little bit. More than I would have liked. I was considering making it a play. It opened at 11.5. It's now up to, I believe, I want to say 12.5, might even be 13.5 on some books. I felt that was a really good bargain if you were able to get the 11.5 number. I think the 12.5 number still has a little bit of value if it's not overly juiced. So yeah, I do expect Foreman to be mixed in quite a bit. So yeah, those are the 2 props outside of A.J. Brown that I've been looking at on Tennessee side of the ball.
Okay. AB, I know you always have a little nugget that you can throw out. I'm just going to say, is there a Titans nugget that you have that would lead us to believe they can win the game tonight?
I do. Mike Vrabel, since 2000, he is 55% straight up as an underdog. I'm talking about winning the game, 55%. That's the best since 2000. We haven't seen that in 21 years. Like, that's winning outright, not just covering, winning outright. Mike Vrabel is built to do this. The problem is this. They are so banged up. They've already set the record in the NFL for most total players played, and they set that 3 weeks ago. And we're not even finished with the season. Like, that's how many players that they've had come in, signing, practice squad. You name it. Golden Tate almost started the other night, right? Like, that's how difficult that it is. But I'll say this, man. Don't ever, ever, ever count that man out, because the minute the Titans are the perfect, like, once you get off of them, that's when they surprise you. So yeah, he always has a shot.
It's very, very bittersweet because as a show, we're on the Titans over 9.5 wins. We thought at Halloween we would have cashed that ticket already. We have not. They need this win here tonight. But let me come to you, Mikey, because you're always so on point with how much a player means to a team. When the Titans don't have A.J. Brown, they become very, very one-dimensional. But when he comes back, how much of a difference, maybe not from an against the spread perspective, but just from the Titans being able to move and score the ball perspective?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it certainly helps him. He's worth maybe a point or so in the betting market, which is quite a bit for a wide receiver. The impact is certainly felt more when Derrick Henry is not available as well. It's mostly the combination of both of those guys being absent. At least bringing one of them back helps. And frankly, where it helps is when they fall behind. They're in trouble when they fall behind a lot. Now having him out there, it opens things up earlier in the game. But if they do get into that scenario, they can still hit him with targets. He still has that big play ability, which can keep them in games. I talked about it a little bit in the absence of DeAndre Hopkins for the Arizona Cardinals. A.J. Brown is very similar to that. He can make those plays that extend a drive, that convert a third down that really shouldn't have been converted on a throw that wasn't quite where it should have been. He's the kind of guy that can still make that play. And in a game like this, it's a massive impact. You don't even see it necessarily on the betting market side as much, but it does make a big difference in the way that they're going to call the game for sure. Not only that, one more point to it too with this officiating crew. It also just opens up the possibility to pick up penalty yardage, which in this day and age, the way we watch games being officiated, you have to account for that and you have to think about it because he can definitely draw those pass interference penalties that'll again extend drives for this Titans team.
Great stuff. AB, talk to me.
Yep, exactly what Mike just said. 49ers, their defense, they're bottom 3 in the NFL in terms of defensive penalties, DPIs. They've given up a ton of yardage in terms of DPIs, things like that. Also, another thing, and we're going to get into props, one thing to think about, because the Titans have 2 starters on the offensive line that are out, left tackle and then guard Roger Saffold. Understand this, offensive coordinator Todd Downing is going to be using tight ends to chip on the offensive line a ton tonight. So you'll find spots where the Titans are actually down, kind of a one receiver, so to say, because there's going to be extra blocking, needed and necessary. So just pay attention to that as well.
All right. Very good. Well, you mentioned the props. There's a lot of people in the chat that are interested in props tonight, and we haven't had that for a few days because so many props didn't hit. So let's go ahead and jump in right now because I want to hit on as many as we can, and I want to keep the energy up for my man Alex. So, Alex, let me come to you first. Wilson, you love these rush attempts. Are you awake, Alex?
I'm good.
Okay. Under 16.5 rush attempts for Mr. Jeff Wilson.
Yeah, I like this one quite a bit. This opened at 17.5, however, and it's been bet down. I loved it at 17.5. I believe it's still heavily juiced if you're looking at the under at 16.5. Jeff Wilson has been somewhat ineffective this season filling in for Eli Mitchell. I do expect, obviously, Debo to be involved with the rushing game as well. So, as far as Wilson is concerned, I think there is some value at 16.5. However, it's become a little more efficient if you got it at 17.5. I think that was a great number. I do like his combined rushing and receiving under. I want to say it's hovering between 77 and 74 yards. So if you're seeing 16.5 and it's heavily juiced, the under, I'd look at his combo prop under. This guy is pretty much never involved. I think he's caught 2 passes in 1 game this season. So playing the under on his combined rushing and receiving has some value as well.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Options, that's what we need. Let's come to you, AB, and then Mikey, I'm coming to you with one. Ryan Tannehill, you're our quarterback INT guy. And I remember at least 2 or 3 times this year we've cashed Tannehill throwing an interception. Tonight, it's minus 115.
I'd play that. Absolutely. He's going to put the ball in the air 30 times, maybe more, depending on the game script. And he does that in good games when they're winning. Tonight is a disaster for an offensive line against that defensive line. He is going to be on the run. He is going to have to get the ball out so fast. Yeah, I love that play. And if anybody's looking at turnovers, the Titans fumbled the ball too, and he might be getting hit a lot in the backfield. So I love the interception play, and you might take a look depending on the price that you get for over 1.5 turnovers. But interception. Yeah, okay. Absolutely.
All right, very good. All right, 2 plays there. Let me come to you, Mikey. Based off of the A.J. Brown play for Prop Stars, his longest reception is over 21.5 yards. Your thoughts there?
I don't mind it, but I really think that him getting to this number is actually going to be a little bit more through volume than the true depth. I think some of that you also have to consider what AB's talking about, what we've talked about all day, but obviously not everyone tuned into all the shows. The offensive line is beat up. I'm not sure we're going to have a ton of time for Tannehill to get, to throw deeper down the field. So I expect some slants. I expect some quicker routes, especially early in the game, to kind of get A.J. Brown back into the field, back into the rhythm a bit. I do think that they look his way early. But as far as the number here, 21, a kind of a fragile spot. Like, yes, I think that he has that ability, obviously, to turn any play into that, but I'd be cautious. I think some of the deeper throws, whether it's not because of not having the timing recently, the way the 49ers defend, I fully expect long defensive penalties in this game, really on both sides. I'm not playing the over on the longest reception. I'd much rather attack the yardage number where it's at. I think that that's probably the best way to play A.J. Brown tonight.
There are also a lot of big-time fantasy football finals, potentially playoffs as well. Quick question, and Mikey, I'll come to you because you're a fantasy guy. Are we trusting A.J. Brown in fantasy?
I mean, I would. I think you have to play him. He's, if he's back to playing at this point, you got to trust him. He's one of the better receivers in the NFL. You're looking at, most likely game script is very neutral, or another very likely scenario is they're trailing by 2 scores in this game, and he should have all the opportunity. If you've got him on your team, I think you're playing him.
Okay, very good. Let me come to you, Alex, now. Debo, we talked about his rushing, but his receiving total is 4 catches minus 111. Do we think Jimmy G is going to be focusing a lot on Debo on the ground, but also in the air?
Yeah, it's tough with Debo. I'm a huge fan of the player. Obviously, the guy is just absolutely dynamic. But what we've seen since Elijah Mitchell has been banged up is we've seen primarily Jeff Wilson as the running back, with Debo kind of mixing in. And then besides last week, Debo has had very minimal involvement as a receiver, since Elijah Mitchell has been banged up. So, outside of that one game sample, I feel like it's hard to trust Debo's receiving props. They are low, they are enticing, but we've seen just George Kittle be the focal point of San Francisco's passing offense. And this is a low volume passing offense. This team wants to just run the ball down your throat as much as possible. If they can get away with passing the ball 15, 20 times a game, they would. So I do anticipate just a heavy run approach from San Francisco. I just can't count on the volume from Debo, so I don't like his receiving props.
All right, I love that a lot. Stay away. Just watch him work. Just watch him work, and then not worry about it. Come and stay away. All right, Sean, I see you in the chat. Woo! That's for you. Very tame, Ric Flair. Now, let me come back to you, AB, because you lived there in Nashville. You have the pulse of the Titans football team. And Julio Jones has been, to be fair, a disappointment because of injuries. His longest reception prop for him is 17.5, and the under is juiced to minus 115.
I'll be honest. I wouldn't play anything Julio Jones. He comes out of the game too much. Like he'll start, he'll play, and then you'll look up, midway through the second quarter, beginning of the third quarter, he's gone. And he's out of the game. It's a hamstring injury. So I wouldn't – he could hit it for sure. He has the talent to do it. But I wouldn't suggest it and encourage people to, because he could be out of the game literally in 2 drives.
Okay, very good. Yeah, go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, at this stage of Julio's career, he is literally amongst the most fragile players in the NFL, whether it's soft tissue. Just as AB mentioned, this guy, I don't think he has finished a game as a Titan, not to mention just multiple stints on injured reserve and just not even – barely playing that much. Last week was a great example. Came into the game healthy. By the third and fourth quarter, he's on the sideline with his helmet off. It's just very, very hard to trust him right now.
I'll give you a perfect example. Adrian Peterson left the Titans with more touchdowns than Julio Jones had with the Titans. That's a fact.
Stop it.
Yep.
Stop it. He's been on 3 teams since – not really, but it seems like he's been on 3 teams. Le'Veon Bell's been on 3 teams. I mean, how about Le'Veon Bell going, I consider retirement, and I was going to be a boxer. Oh, okay, Le'Veon, that makes a lot of sense. Come back to the NFL and collect 1 week of a paycheck, and then you'll get cut again. It's so crazy.
And them dudes ain't doing too well against Jake Paul either. I'm not a Jake Paul guy, but people are getting knocked out, man.
People are getting paid. They're making a lot of money. You can say what you want about Jake Paul. I'm here for him, because he puts butts in seats. And, I'm all about the entertainment side of it. Mikey, let me come to you. A lot of people in the chat are talking about Joe Jennings. He's a Tennessee guy. He's a Tennessee local. And his numbers aren't too crazy. Over 1.5 catches at minus 174. That's pretty juicy. But his yardage total is also pretty high, minus 141, over 20.5. But a lot of people like him tonight. Do you?
So I'm using him in the donkey parlay, little teaser alert there, but definitely on an alternate line. I think it's somewhat fragile. Yes, he's hit it recently. Still a lot of mouths to feed for this team. So while I think that they might draw something up for him, especially if the game for some reason gets out of hand, they might get him something knowing that it's his hometown, his home audience, essentially home state. But I don't love it, to be honest with you, especially at that juice. It's one of those where your opportunities on him were likely the last 2 weeks when he did hit and go over some of these numbers. Now they're approaching territory where you would need something to happen, whether they're really shutting down Kittle, really shutting down Samuel, or Jeff Wilson just not being able to run the ball at all. So I think it's fragile. I think that he obviously possesses the upside. The numbers are super low, could get there on 1 or 2 catches, but not for me, not at that price.
AB?
Yeah. M squared is 100% on here. Look, Juwan Jennings, he is the dog, man. I love this guy. He's fantastic, but they use him way more in blocking than they do. He only gets maybe, a couple looks. He actually gets looks in the red zone. Like, that's where you want to look at him. I'll also say this, how the Titans are going to play defense tonight. Kevin Byard, their Pro Bowl safety, is going to be on George Kittle, right? So Kyle Shanahan is going to use Kittle to open up the field. So the 49ers don't take a lot of deep shots, but they will try when they can bring Kevin Byard in. So pay attention to that. But Mikey's correct. Juwan Jennings isn't that guy to play. There's other options there.
Okay. Well, you mentioned a name, and I'm going to come to Alex on it, that we haven't talked about at all. And when he has big games, usually they are humongous. And I've got one name to tell you, Travis Kelce. Because when he needed to have a big game against the Chargers, he went bananas. I feel like this is the same type of situation, Alex, for George Kittle tonight. His catch prop is 5.5, minus 158. It's pretty heavy. And his yardage prop is at 71.5, minus 142. Talk to me.
Yeah, this is a very, very interesting matchup. Probably the one I'm going to be paying most attention to as far as San Francisco offensive players are concerned. George Kittle has been phenomenal over the past 4 weeks. He has reclaimed the spot as maybe the best tight end besides Travis Kelce in the NFL, arguably playing better over the past month of the season. He's been absolutely phenomenal. They are running the offense, the passing offense through him in San Francisco versus Tennessee. However, Tennessee, AB mentioned Byard, the safety, is an elite safety. Tennessee is also very good against opposing tight ends. They ranked 8th against the position in DVOA. So this is going to be kind of like steel on steel or iron on iron. I am very much looking forward to this matchup. I feel the number is mostly efficient at 70.5. I'd actually probably lean more towards the reception prop at 5.5. I do think they are going to pay a lot of attention to limiting George Kittle. I would say that both lines are fairly efficient, though. Don't provide a ton of value either way.
For those of you who are brand new, and I'm coming to you, AB, for those of you who are brand new to the show, here's a little tip. If Alex gets really excited talking about a prop, play it. That's all I'm going to say. AB, let me come to you.
Yeah, George Kittle has around 430 receiving yards in his last 3 games. PropStar is exactly right. The guy's been balling. And here's a nugget for you. You talk about M squared living in the penthouse. This is also an absolute fact. I won't blast my man where he's at, but I will say, M squared and George Kittle live about 2 minutes away from each other. Just putting that one out there, too.
So Kittle's full-time in Nashville in the offseason?
Most of the time,
yes,
yeah.
That was what I was going to bring up. He's got his compound here in Nashville. Had a little tight end in Nashville as well. Definitely a home game for him tonight.
I could not believe how many starting tight ends, showed up for tight end U. That was crazy. Like almost every big name was there. Almost every single one. That was amazing. Who runs it? Kittle, Kelce, and it's just those two, right? They run it. And then
I believe Robert Tonyan from the Packers was there.
There was like 30 there. There was but I know they run the thing. It's like their thing. Yeah. I love it. All right. So very good. So AB, so you and Mikey don't hang out with George Kittle. Just Mikey is in that group of friends.
Yeah. Mike said that. Yeah. They don't really hang out with the help. I'm just down here trying to keep the floors clean. That's it.
All right, to be clear, because we're not staying on for an hour tonight. It's the holidays. We're getting in and we are getting out. Plus, some of us have done 4 shows today. The 3 of us on the screen have done 4 shows. So I'm not sitting here until 8:15 for no reason. So we've got through all of the props that we're going to talk about. So we have 2 things left to do. And then we're going to say Merry Christmas Eve and get the hell out of here and join it just like you guys do. So we've got to do the donkey that just got done. Is the graphic ready, AB?
Should be.
You can. Oh, okay. Oh, all right. It's not as pretty as Jeweler does it, but hey,
That's my fault.
Take it. I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I'll take it. All right, Mikey, the floor is yours.
All right. So for those who wondering why it looks different, I wasn't able to grab the screenshot on the bet receipt as I got a notification on my phone, accidentally closed it. So I had to go back into my actual active bets to give you the screenshot. That's why it looks different tonight. Still available on the same sports book. San Francisco 49ers, alternate line plus 6.5. Tennessee Titans, alternate spread plus 13.5. The over 36.5 total points in the game. A.J. Brown, over 44.5 receiving yards. Juwan Jennings, over 4.5 receiving yards. I mentioned I don't like his full prop. I do like this one. I think he has 1 to 2 opportunities in this game. Gets himself the 5 yards needed. Same thing on Julio Jones, over 19.5. I do not like his full prop numbers. I do like this number as he exits the game with injury after his second or third catch. Deebo Samuel, over 34.5 receiving yards. I do think that they use him in some very short passes in this game. It is difficult to run between the tackles against this team. I think that they adjust and throw to him, get him in space. I like his alternate number. I do not like his full number, for full disclosure on that. Ryan Tannehill, over 194.5 passing yards. If the Titans are going to win and or cover the spread in this game, they're going to have to throw the football more than they have. I like this number. I make his actual prop number around 229. Pretty comfortable spot to get over 194.5. Put them all together, plus 500.
And for those of you who are new to say, how in the world does that hit? First of all, it's fun. And we have hit it a lot this year. So take a good look at it. Of course, AB takes it right down. But we believe here at the brand that not every bet has to be a serious play. It's supposed to be fun. And we have a ton of fun here at the show. By the way, my man Will says these guys know what they're talking about. So educational. Will, welcome to the show. And welcome to my crew, the smartest in all of the land. Now, there is another fun bet that we make on every single prime time show, and you guys know what that is. It's the VJM. It's time for somebody to get into the club tonight. But the big question is, who is it going to be? So, Mikey, it's your segment. It's your deal. You're up first. Who you taking tonight, big boy?
Yeah, I went straight to the chalk on this one. The number was friendly at plus 1,000, thanks to his first game back. It's A.J. Brown, plus 1,000. The number should be plus 700 on the home field. I think his presence is going to be felt, and I think they're going to look to him early and often.
All right, A.J. Brown. I love that it just creeps over plus 1,000. I wish I would have got in first. All right, Alex, who are you going with?
I'm on A.J. Brown as well, plus 1,000.
Oh, 2. All right, there's no rules. You can't take the same one. That's very true. All right. He wants to get in on his own accord. He loves A.J. Brown tonight. You're all in on A.J. Brown tonight.
Double dipping, Coach.
AB, it's a home game for your squad. You should have a little you and Mike, you should have a little lead time and know a little bit more than the rest of us. So who are you taking tonight?
Well, I'll tell you what, Dan Hurdy in the chat just said it best. Who's going to be drinking eggnogs tonight with your boy? And I'll tell you what, we're going Ryan Tannehill plus 1,500. The last 3 games, the Titans in the red zone, their scoring a touchdown percentage has dropped from 60% to 44%. And Ryan Tannehill, with the finger roll, has been your boy scoring them. Give me Tannehill.
I said it the other night with Justin Jefferson that if I see that stupid dance, I was going to drive myself crazy for not playing his touchdown prop. And he did do that, and it drove me nuts. And on top of that, they then had to go to the pregame segment showing him how Randy Moss to do the stupid dance. So I will double down that if I see that stupid finger flip from Ryan Tannehill tonight and it's the first touchdown of the game, I will lose my mind. Promise you that. All right, I'm going to go with Nick Westbrook. Now, he caught the most catches for this man. I know I just butchered the name. I don't care. So he caught the most catches for Tennessee against the Steelers. That's all I've got. Because right now, I am on tilt. Right now, I have no idea if I am coming or if I am going. All I know is I'm standing out in the rain, and damn it, I need to get in the club before New Year's Eve. So I'm taking plus 1,600 for that man. So, AB, who are we giving to the jeweler who is very under the weather? Give your prayers out to the jeweler. He is down for the count, but he is still a part of us. So who are we giving to him, AB?
The dog, Jawan Jennings. All right. A
dog.
local, home game for JJ. Yep. He's going straight to him. A good red zone option, a home game. Absolutely, Jawan Jennings.
All right. People think we joke about this a lot, that we don't take getting into the club serious. Trust and believe. If jeweler gets in before me, some heads are going to roll. Some heads are going to roll. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. All right, one final thing that we need to do, that we're going to get the hell out of here. You have one final chance to put your Twitter handle and Venmo into the chat, because AB is going to reward one lucky person tonight with $100 if you beat him in a showdown. And what is that showdown bet, AB?
That showdown bet is I have the Titans plus 3.5. So if the Titans do not cover, you win.
All right, that's all we got to do. And Noah, he is our boss. He makes or breaks our careers. Well, AB's. And he will select the very lucky person tonight from the chat. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to throw up the recap page, and I like to end every single show letting my guys tell you what they're most looking forward to. And on a busy day at the brand, I can't thank all of you enough for taking the time. It's a holiday week, but damn it, we grind, and you all embrace it with me. So thank all three of you very, very much. So let's get to that recap. Here are our best bets for the night. Mikey's got the teaser. Titans up to 9. That over, it says if you still get it at 40, you can play that teaser. Then prop stars, he's on A.J. Brown over his receiving prop. A.B. Ryan Tannehill over his rushing prop. And then the maestro, he's back. He's on the 49ers minus the 3 tonight. And then Debo over 32.5 rushing yards. So, A.B., what are you most looking forward to tonight?
Yeah, it's a big game, like you said, for the Titans. If they can win this one, okay, win next week against Miami, Week 18, they play the Texans. So if they don't get the number 1 seed, but they win the division, that's a bye week they just created for themselves in Week 18.
Ooh, baby, that would be really, really nice. Alex, talk to me, and then you can go right back to bed, son.
I'm looking forward to 3 things. First and foremost, A.J. Brown having at least 56 receiving yards. Second, A.J. Brown scoring the first touchdown of the game. And third is hearing about whoever beats A.B. in this showdown, because no one, or his money spends very, very sweet. So please let us know what you spend those A.B. bucks on.
I will tell you this, Alex, that for people who think A.B. is a pushover, this is the second time this week he's done this same bet. He has paid nobody yet because he keeps winning. So I'm telling you, he's not easy to beat. He's not easy to beat. And the number is 3.5, correct, AB? That's
correct.
The number we're going with.
Correct. And look, it looks like we have our winner. Noah just sent this through.
Okay.
We have Juan Manuel Lemus. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I tried to put a little flavor on there. Juan, congratulations. It is me and you tonight. So I'll reach out to you after the show on Twitter. We'll get it all official out there. Best of luck to you, my friend.
AB, why don't you stick when you're adding flavor? Just stick to when you're working at Chick-fil-A. Don't try to do it here. Do not try to do it here. All right, Mikey, bring us home, big boy. Bring us home.
Yeah, much like Alex, I'm looking forward to A.J. Brown scoring the first touchdown. I can't wait to tweet about A.J. Brown being a grown man. That is a tweet that we get to send quite a bit when he comes down with a nice catch. I think that happens tonight. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to a competitive game. Give me over 38 total points, and let's keep this one within, double digits really on both sides. So let's have a good game. I think it's going to be fun tonight.
I am looking forward to also those tweets because I am on the Titans tonight because I played your teaser because I listened to you. I am also looking forward to a man that I can't even pronounce his name, getting him into the most exclusive club in all of sports betting. Everybody wants to be in, but it's so very hard to get there. But tonight's my night. Boys, I love you like brothers. I love doing this show. I love doing every single show that we get to do. All of you at home, thank you for making this year literally like the best year of my life, my boys' lives. But guess what? We can thank you every single day because we'll be here Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. We grind for you, and we are always here. So let's remember to pay it forward, be nice to one another, enjoy those Christmas presents. and there's only one thing left to do. And Elliot, you're always asking for it. So Elliot in the chat, this one's for you, big boy. Elliot, you got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. For my entire crew, AB on the ones and the twos, doing two jobs in one. Nobody else does that. Prop stars getting up off the deck and showing up. Then, of course, our GOAT, M Squared, always telling you like it is. I am the coach. I run the show, but damn it, I just stay out of the way. Tell all your friends every single day, this is the brand in sports betting that beats all the rest. We like to call it the early edge. Good luck tonight.